Hello everybody, today we're going to be doing a Shopify web design tutorial. So the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure you are on your admin page. If you don't know how to get there, just make sure your URL is your Shopify URL/admin and it will take you to a page just like this. Now this is a brand new store just for test purposes. Now once you're to this screen, you're going to want to come down on the left to sales channels and you're going to want to click online store because that is what we are going to be customizing today. And once you are here, you have your current theme, which the default is debut, and then if you scroll down just below this down here, you will see free themes. You can click explore free themes, and this is really important if you're looking for a theme that fits the style of store that you have depending on the product that you sell. So for example, if you're looking for a simple store that has a clothing line, you might want to look at the simple theme, and if you click it, it also has 3 different styles of the simple theme, and you can get a demo of each of them and see how you like it. So I would recommend looking through all of the themes, finding which one fits your product and your brand the best. For today's example, we are going to go with the debut theme, which is the default theme here. It's a very good theme. It is overused sometimes, but if you are on a budget and you're just wanting to start out small, then this is a good theme to use. So from here, you're going to want to click customize, this big blue button right here, and this will take you to your theme editor. Now that we are here, you can see we have the theme with the template, and it's already got a nice little layout pre-made for you, so we can just start working right from that. Now the first thing I like to do is go over here to theme settings on the top left and go down to colors and make sure you have your color scheme proper. This is really important if you're doing branding and you need to make sure your branding is on point, and it really makes the store look good. So make sure your colors are on point and they're not mismatched, they're not too bright, too dark, etc. So personally, I like to just make sure the buttons are a nice color, something attractive, something people would want to click because they are buttons. So you're gonna want to make them either like blue or green, red, whatever really fits your style or matches your logo. So we're just gonna go with something close to the Launchify logo here, somewhere in the bluish green area, whatever. And then you're gonna make sure the primary label is white over top of the button so it'll show up the best, because you don't want a dark label over a dark button. That would not look good. And then other than that, everything else on the debut theme looks pretty good for now. You can always go back and change the colors later if you notice something. So let's go ahead and back out of here. Now the next really important thing you're going to want to do is below colors, you're going to want to go to typography, and this is essentially just the font that you are using on the website. So this is the default. I believe it's Helvetica. So we're going to change that. You want to make sure your website has its own style and it looks good as well. So we're going to go ahead and just look. They have tons of fonts here to choose from, many different looks. One of my favorites, and it's a classic, is Roboto. It is a Google font. So there's a few versions of it, and it's just a really nice clean font if you're looking for something basic. So you can click Roboto, and then down here you can change the weight of it if you want a more bold heading or whatnot right here, but we're just going to leave everything regular today. You're going to want to click select after that, and then that's for the header text. Now if you have a different theme, you will have potentially more options here, but on the debut theme there is only heading and button and body text, and that is the text that will show up on them. So next thing you're going to want to do is come down to body text and make sure that it matches your headings and buttons. Usually you always want to do this. Sometimes you can get away with different font for your heading and body text, but usually you're going to want it to match up if you're not really sure. So we're going to type in Roboto again, select, and then press select again, and that's good. So after that, you can adjust the base size if you want a larger heading or smaller. So we're going to make this 16 on the body and leave the heading base size 28. So as you can see, it made it a little bigger there. We're just going to go ahead and click save to make sure it saves our progress. It's a really good habit to get into. It does automatically save it every once in a while, but clicking save just ensures you don't lose your progress. While you're already here on the theme settings page, once you back out of the colors, you're going to want to come down to favicon and just go ahead and select a favicon. I've already uploaded these 2 images, but if you don't have your images uploaded, you can go ahead and upload them by clicking this button here. But I'm going to go ahead and upload it. Now the favicon, you're going to want to have a pretty small logo. Make sure it's square and completely fills up the space, and that's just kind of what shows up here on the top left if you're using Chrome right here. Just a little icon. It's a really nice touch. Just make sure you have that. So go ahead and press select, and that will save that, and then you can go ahead and back out of here. Once you've got your favicon, we're going to go back to sections, and then header, and this is where you're going to add your logo. Now you have logo alignment left and centered, but we will adjust that after we upload the logo. So we're going to go ahead and click select image, just like the favicon, press the logo that you want to upload, press select, and then there we go, we got our logo. Now we are looking at the desktop view, and as you can tell, it is a little bit small. So down here we have custom logo width, and this is essentially just the size of the logo. So we're going to go ahead and bump that up from 100. I usually like to go around 185 maybe. You don't want it too big and overpowering, but you definitely want it visible if you do have an important logo that you want people to recognize. So you can go as high as you want, really. It's really up to preference, but I think we're going to go with about 185 today. And also you can make sure it's the proper size for mobile by going up here on the top and clicking the mobile view. And as you can tell, this looks pretty good on mobile. It's a little larger than I usually like, but it still looks very good. So we're gonna go ahead and save that. I'm gonna press save. I typically like the logo to stay on the left, but you can center it right here. And that's not a bad look. It really just depends on what you want to do. They both are fine, so that's all up to personal preference, but today we're going to leave it on the left. And then down here below, you do have an announcement bar. Now this is very nice if you want to put something like free shipping, and then you can change the bar color to you know, something that matches your theme typically, or something that stands out on its own. And then you can also put a link there if you want, but you can enable it by clicking show announcement. And then now, as you can see, we do have an announcement bar there, and it shows up on mobile as well as desktop, and it looks pretty good. So we're gonna go ahead and just leave that on just for the example. I'm gonna go ahead and click save again. And now we're going to head on to the next step. So the next step is obviously changing the home page. Now you can add as many pages as you want and products and everything, but today we're just going to go over the basic design. So as you can tell, this debut theme already has a pretty nice layout for us. All we really got to do is upload images. Now you can come over here on the left and rearrange and delete stuff. Sometimes I like to just delete everything and start fresh by adding brand new sections, but you can also do what we're going to do today and just fill in what's already here. I do recommend, though, if you're trying to build a long-term reputable brand or business, that you do make it as custom as you can. But today I'm just going to show you how to adjust all these different sections. So we're going to start here with the very first one. This is kind of the main header, and what you're going to want to do is just select an image. You can go over here to free images. You can find literally anything you want pretty much. We're going to go to staff favorites and just find a nice picture. Here's a beach that looks pretty nice, so that actually looks really good. So we're going to go ahead and press select on that, and these are completely free stock images that you can use. They're very nice and useful, so we're going to go ahead and do that. As you can see, it loaded in there. It looks good on desktop. Go ahead and check it looks good on mobile. It's very important to make sure everything looks good on desktop and mobile, so make sure you're checking that frequently. So now over here on the left hand side, you do have a bunch of adjustments and stuff you can do with this. You can align it top, middle, bottom. Looks like we're just going to leave it in the middle. I think that looks very good. The most important thing with image alignment is making sure that your text over it is very visible. If, for instance, this background was too white, then this white text would not show up, and that would be a problem. But with this light blue sky background, it actually looks very good. So we're going to leave it in the middle. Now layout, I typically leave it on full width. As you can tell, it goes the full width of the screen, which looks very nice. You can do fixed width, which it does look like this. I personally think this looks bad, but it kind of depends on what you want to do with the store and how you use it. It can be good, but for this example, we're going to be doing full width, which looks very good on mobile and desktop. And then the section height, this is pretty important. This can really change the look of the site. It's currently on large. As you can tell, it is a pretty large header, but if you want to make it smaller, you can go down to small, and then now you can see we just have a more thin banner. They even have extra small. Adapt to image just makes it the full size of the image, so however big the image is pretty much how big the banner section will be. But I usually like to leave it on about medium, sometimes large, extra large if you have a really nice photo you want to display, small if you don't really care about the photo that much. But we're just going to leave it on medium today. Medium is a nice middle, and it also allows you to have a pretty large picture here, but also it kind of leads the customer or whoever's on your site down to the next section here. So we're gonna go ahead and leave that on medium. Now the text size, I personally like to leave my text on pretty large settings and fonts. You can go with a medium setting. Sometimes turning it down will make it look more professional if you have a smaller font, but I'm just gonna leave it on large. I really like it to pop out in your face on the header and really tell you what the brand's about. So for instance, we're going to just make up some heading here. Now the heading is really important. It's kind of the first thing that grabs your customer's attention whenever they go to the web page. So we're just going to put quality products. I don't know, we're just going to give a very broad example here of stuff, but you just have quality products, whatever your product is, whatever you're selling. Just make something that really identifies your company, your brand, your business, your product, that people will really recognize and be like, okay, this is what this person sells or whatever. So, and then you can add a little description. Our products are made of the highest quality. That'll just be filler. So as you can tell, that's how that looks right there. And then another really nice feature here that I always recommend is putting a label. So you might want to do like a shop now button here. And then you can just, we don't have a product or collection right now, but we can just go to collections and then all collections. And that means whenever they click this button on the home page, it will take them to all collections. So you can really have it go wherever you want if you have a certain product you want them to link to or whatever. But that's really all there is to the beginner header image. And let's move on to the next one. So the next section right here is image with text. This is a really cool one if you do have more of a personal brand type site or something with your face on it especially. I really like this. So we're gonna go ahead and explore free images, and we're just gonna click I don't know, something random here. We're gonna try to find a person here. So we're just gonna click this guy. He looks pretty cool, and we're gonna press select. And once it loads in, you know, maybe this guy is the designer of these quality products. We're going to put you know, his name. I'll just name him Bob. We'll just name him Bob. He's just gonna be Bob. All right, so other than that, we got Bob here. He makes high quality products, and you know, and we're just gonna put a little description about him, something like that. Now this is just an example of how you can use this. You can use this in so many different ways, but we're just going to give you an example so you can kind of get a feel of how you should go about designing the website and using certain sections. So we're just going to go with Bob here. He makes high quality products, and we're just going to put with 7+ years of fashion industry experience. I don't know, we're just gonna leave it at that. I'm not gonna make a whole long thing, but you get the point. And then you can come down here and go read more, and then you could link to an about me page would be great. We don't have one made right now, so I'm just gonna link to something else so the button will show up. Well, as you can tell, then we just have a little read more button here, and you can change the label of the text to say whatever you want, learn more, read more, whatever you want. But so now we have no, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but make sure your site has, you know, it makes more sense than this, but this is just for web design tutorial purposes. So we have your logo, you have a nice header banner image with a button that goes to your product or whatever you're talking about in the banner, and then below that you could add a little about page. You could even put a product here and say something about your product, whatever you want to do. And then it's really nice to have buttons everywhere so that your website's really easy to navigate. Now we're going to back out of this section and go on to the next one, which is text with columns. Now this one is pretty much exactly like this one, except they're vertical, and you can put like 3 of them in a row, which is really nice. But I'm not gonna, we're just gonna throw in some pictures here. We're just gonna go men's fashion. I guess this is a men's fashion store, but we're just gonna throw in some images here on each one of these, and you can remove them if you only want 2, or if you only want 1, or if you want 4, you can add another one. But we're just gonna go ahead here and add a couple of these random pictures and just see what they look like. Now notice that they are different shapes sometimes, so you might have a little bit of weird spacing here. So for instance, with this example, I have a vertical image or a portrait image, and then I have a landscape image. So this one, I'm gonna try to find one that's also portrait, just so the spacing will hopefully be pretty close to each other. But it really doesn't matter. If you want more of a collage look, of course, then that's what you can go for. So we're gonna see, I might not get a vertical one. We'll just see. This one looks like it might be vertical. It's not. We'll try that one, and there we go. That one is vertical. So I think that looks a little better personally, but again, the thing about design is it's all preference. There are some, you know, key components like making sure your colors match and everything, but when it comes to really designing it, you can really have the freedom and fun of designing it the way you want it. So you can also add a header to this. Let's put our fashion, I don't know, let's throw something up there, and then it makes a nice little header there. Text alignment, now as you can see, it's aligned to the left. You can have it centered if you want, whatever you want, but you can add literally anything you want there. It's pretty nice. And then the next section down here is featured collection. Now we don't have a collection, but if you did, you would want to just put in your collection right here, and it's just going to look like that and show all the products from the collection. You could put how many products you want shown. You can also put a view all button right here, and that's up to you. But moving on, we do have image with text overlay. This is just like the beginning banner, so I'm not going to go over that again. You can add another one of those if you want. I personally don't usually add a second one unless I have something specific to display down here, but it's all preference, like I said. And then testimonials, this is really good to have to improve your social proof. So get some testimonials from your customers. I recommend you get real ones. I see so many people using fake ones or just making obviously fake ones themselves. That can work and has worked, but I recommend with your business, especially if you want it to be a long-term one, just be honest and have honest reviews. If you don't have any reviews or testimonials of your service or product yet, then I recommend just not having any at all. Or just getting friends and family at least to leave you a testimonial, but I'm just gonna leave that alone for now. And then finally we have a gallery section, and you can add different photos here, whatever you want. If you're a photographer, you're selling photos or something, you can have different photos here, photos of your product, for instance, anything you want. So, and of course, you're gonna just size on all of these things, all of these sections. You can make them extra small and they're really thin. You can make them extra large, medium, or small, which we'll leave it on, and then we're going to click save to save all of our progress. And I think that's really about all there is. Now you do have a footer section down here too. There's not really too many settings down here to change, so just make sure everything down here is good and looks fine and whatever you want. So I'm going to back out, and really that's it. So now we have a nice little website going. Another small thing you're going to want to do is go to your checkout down here at theme settings, and you're going to want to make sure you upload your logo to your checkout as well. So we're going to click the logo right here, same one as our home page. I'm going to click select and save, and what that does is make sure your logo is on your checkout page. And the checkout page is really important because that's where your customers are going to be putting in their order, their payment information, and you want to make sure they know that it's still your page, your brand. So that's really important to have, and you can have it in a different position and whatnot, but I recommend just leaving it on left and medium. That's usually the best thing to do. So once you've uploaded your logo to your checkout, you might want to come down and check the typography and the color and accents. I typically leave the heading and body here on system just so it looks very familiar to the customer. System is a pretty standard font in checkout, so it just looks like any other regular checkout, but you can customize it if you want. That's completely up to you. Now the colors, you can make these your colors, so we might want to do accents and buttons your colors so it looks branded still. And then errors, I usually always leave red, but that's really about it for the checkout section. So let's go ahead and save. But that's going to do it for this video. As you can see, we have made a pretty nice little website on both desktop, and it looks very good on mobile as well. And that's going to do it for this video. So subscribe if you want more tutorials like this. We're going to be getting more in-depth, more advanced. Leave a comment below if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about your Shopify website, and I will try to get back with you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.